Hello students, in this video we will discuss the various uses of the super keyword in Java. So the first use of the super keyword is to make a superclass constructor to be invoked from the subclass. So we know very well when we create an object for the subclass, the superclass default constructor will be invoked automatically. But how to invoke the superclass parameterized constructor, whether it is a parameterized constructor or copy constructor, how it can be invoked when we create the subclass object. So obviously I have told you in all inheritance program we always create object for the subclass because a subclass can access the members of the superclass, whereas a superclass cannot access the members of the subclass. So that is why we have a practice that we always create object for the subclass in order to access the members of the superclass except the private member. Okay, so in order to call the superclass parameterized constructor, we can make use of the super keyword inside the subclass. Remember, super keyword should be used only within the subclass. Super keyword, it is meaningless if it is used inside the superclass itself. Okay, so it is a keyword which is used by the subclass to access the various content of the superclass. Let it be constructor, or let it be a overridden method, or let it be a hidden instance variable. So those are the three uses of the super keyword. Okay, so the second use of the super keyword is to access the members of the superclass that are hidden by the subclass. So we discuss the uses one by one with an example. Okay, so the syntax of the super keyword is super keyword itself within bracket we have to specify the parameters how we are going to invoke the constructor, superclass constructor. It is very important to remember whenever we make use of the super keyword inside the subclass, that should be the first line within the method, whether it is inside a constructor or within a method. If super keyword is used within a program, that should be the first line within the method. Okay, and the parameters which are used in the super keyword should match with the superclass constructor. Like if I have defined a parameterized constructor which is taking two arguments inside the superclass, then we have to pass two arguments from the subclass in order to invoke it. Okay, so that is what they are saying, that parameter should match with the order and the type. Okay, so for the first use of the super keyword, calling the superclass parameterized constructor from the subclass, so this is the example program offered. So this example program is same as the previous example which we have discussed for this keyword. So I have not rewritten the program once again. Okay, so let us discuss how the super keyword can be used within the subclass to invoke the superclass parameterized constructor. Okay, so box class is already defined, which is having four constructors, two parameters constructor, one default constructor and one copy constructor, and there is one more subclass box weight where we have only one constructor, parameterized constructor. So within this parameterized constructor, we have made use of this keyword to initialize the instance variable. Now instead of this code, how can we make use of the super keyword so that we can invoke the superclass constructor? Okay, so we have defined a copy constructor inside the subclass, and we are making use of the super keyword, and we are passing the object, so which is going to invoke the superclass constructor that is taking the object as an argument. So it's very clear this is going to in turn invoke the superclass copy constructor because we have used the super keyword within the subclass box weight. Okay, so there is one more parameterized constructor inside the subclass box weight where which is taking four arguments w, h, d and weight, width, height, depth and weight. Okay, so w, h and d belong to the super, they are all from the superclass instance variable, and w2, that's the reason this class is named as box weight. Okay, so weight is one instance variable that belongs to the subclass. Okay, so in order to initialize a superclass instance variable, it is sufficient if you are going to make use of the super keyword to invoke the parameterized constructor, and only the instance variable that belongs to the subclass is initialized here with the help of this keyword. Again, we know the reason why we have used this keyword here, because the local variable has the same name as the instance variable. So in order to access the instance variable, we have made use of this keyword. So it is very important to remember whenever we make use of the super keyword, let it be whatever purpose, whether you are going to call the constructor, you are going to call the instance variable or the overridden method. In all the cases, if we make use of the super keyword within the subclass, it has to be written as the first line within the method. Okay, so the second use of super keyword is to access the hidden instance variable of the super class. So this is an example program of it. So there is one class named A which is having an instance variable I, and there is one subclass B inside which again we have an instance variable with the same name as the superclass instance variable. So within the constructor, so if we refer to I, it refers to the subclass I. So how do I refer to the superclass instance variable which has the same name as the subclass instance variable? So we can make use of the super keyword for that particular purpose. So when I say super dot that variable name, it refers to the superclass instance variable, and when I simply say the variable name I, it refers to the subclass variable I. Okay, so the rest of the program we have declared a method show in order to display both the superclass variable and the subclass variable. So as obviously we create the object for the subclass and we have passed the variables, and we have invoked the method show in order to display the values of the superclass instance variable and the subclass instance variable. So coming to the third use of the super keyword, we should have a clear understanding of method overriding. So what is method overriding? If the subclass has the same name and the type signature as the method in the superclass, then we say that subclass instance method overrides the instance method of the superclass. Okay, so it is also referred to as runtime polymorphism. Okay, so yeah. So coming to this example, so we have the class A where we have two instance variable I and j, and there is a parameterized constructor, and there is one method show where we display the values of these variables. Okay, where we display the addition of these two instance variables, and there is one subclass B where we have one instance variable k, and there is one parameterized constructor. Again we make use of the super keyword to initialize a superclass instance variable from the subclass. Okay, and the subclass instance variable is initialized accordingly, and this is very important. This is the method that is overriding the superclass method. See, look at the method. Here also it is void show. The return type is also same, the method name is also same, the parameters are also same. So if it happens with in a superclass and a subclass, then we say that the subclass method overrides the superclass method. Okay, so in order to invoke the superclass overridden method, so what should we do is we can make use of the super keyword, and we can call the super dot, and we can mention the name of the overridden method. Okay, so as usual, we have created the object for the subclass, and we have passed the values for initialize it, and we have called the show method. So it's very clear it is going to call the show method in B, not the show method in A. Okay, but looking at the output, we have got the values as in A 9. So the first two values of the superclass instance variable 4 and 5, since we have displayed the sum of the values, the output has come like 9. And within the subclass we have displayed the sum of all the three values. So 4 plus 5 plus 6 is 15, so that is also displayed. So what happens when super.show is executed? It in turn calls the overridden method of the superclass. So hope this video gives you a clear understanding of the three uses of the super keyword in Java. Thank you.